Hello and good morning, good afternoon, and a very good evening to you, the common people of the chew. Ow! I don't want that. Anyway, hello everybody, welcome to another Q&A Wednesday, shall we? It's an extremely rainy, grey, dark day today, and hopefully you saw it in the intro, Jam. You can see out the window and see the gloriousness of this rainstorm that hasn't stopped since whenever. Anyway. Okay, so anyway, let's get to the question, shall we? So, question one today. Plus, I didn't sleep very well last night because of the rain. I'm being very, very tired today, everybody. So, bear with me. Tangenting might be a bit weirder than usual today because I'm slightly tired. But anyway, okay, so question one today is there anything Josh Klinghoffer does better than John Frusciante? Drum? I've never heard John Frusciante play drums, but Josh is a great drummer. I don't know if I really want to answer that question delving too much. Kind of like, it's not the fact it's not the fact I hate Josh or anything like that. I just personally think he doesn't fit where he is. But that's me, you know. It's just my opinion. But is there anything Josh does that John doesn't? Yeah, there's plenty of things that Josh can do that John doesn't. But there's plenty of things that John does that Josh can't. You know what I mean? They're two different entities, really. Josh and John are two totally different entities when it comes down to guitar playing, especially. And even singing as well, to be honest with you. Josh is a lot different singer to John, and, you know, vice versa. And they're both different guitarists. They both have their own, like, individual little style that's very much their own, kind of, in a way. But, is there anything Josh does better than John? No, but because they're two different things at the end of the day. I mean, it's like trying to compare Eric Clapton to Yngwie Malmsteen, you know, which one's better. You can't do it because they're two different entities, you know what I mean? What Eric Clapton does, Yngwie can't do, and what Yngwie does, Eric can't do. So, you know, it's kind of like, you know, I don't know. Like I said, I'm not a Josh hater, but I'm not a big Josh fan, if that makes any sense. I really like stuff he did with John, like in John's solo stuff, but I don't like what he does in the Chili Peppers. I feel it's very it just always feels like they're running on one less cylinder, if that makes any sense with Josh. I mean, not to be horrible, I'm not trying to be horrible, it's just my opinion. But it always feels to me like, you know, the Chili Peppers just running just a little bit on a little bit less power with Josh than they did with John or Hillel or even Dave or even Eric Marshall. Or, you know, or Jack Sherman even. You know, it always seems just a bit more like low-powered Chili Peppers, you know, with Josh. But, yeah, that's just me. But, yeah, you know, there are plenty of things that Josh does that John doesn't, but John never did. And there's plenty of things that John did that Josh couldn't do. You know, I don't think Josh is anywhere near as strong or as good guitar player as John. I don't think many people are. I think John is one of those freakishly, you know, it was always meant to end up with John Frusciante playing guitar. He was destined from the day he was born to play the guitar. And because of that, I think, you know, Josh can't fill those shoes. I'm not sure anybody could fill those shoes. John is one of those guitar geniuses that just, you know, they don't come very often. You know, and he's an extremely strong player, and I don't think Josh is. And I think Josh has kind of like embraced the fact that he's not a particularly strong guitarist. And as a result of that, I think that's why in the new Chili Peppers stuff, there's not a lot of guitar. They're not guitar heavy songs, these new songs. I think it's mainly because Josh doesn't... I don't know, I almost feel like he's embraced the fact that he can't do what John did. So he's just going to do what he wants, and what he's doing at this point in time is what you see is what you're going to get, kind of thing. But again, you know, in my opinion, I don't think that really fits the Chili Peppers. In my personal opinion, now I think there's a time and a place for that minimalism that Josh has, but I don't feel it belongs with the Chili Peppers. If that makes any sense, I feel there's a lot lacking There's a lot missing, and but I totally understand what he's doing. I mean, he's not trying to be John. He's trying to be himself, and that's cool. But I do feel that the Chili Peppers need a guitarist who's not trying to be John Frusciante, but has that style. You know what I mean? That Hendrixy, funky thing that John had. You know, that I reckon the guitarist needs to be that thing, because the Chili Peppers have always been very kind of like, you know, guitar, bass, drums, and lyric and vocals led. Now they're just kind of bass, drums, and vocal led, well, with a couple of crazy noises in the background. You know, there's not a lot going on with the guitar anymore. It's a very secondary instrument to everything else at this point in time. Whereas it used to kind of lead a lot, you know what I mean? There used to be a kind of like, you know, a lot going on with the guitar with one way or another, you know, with with Hillel to John to Dave to Eric Marshall, Jack Sherman, although Jack Sherman was kind of like technically playing Hillel's parts. But it's always been a guitar, you know, there's always been a very strong guitar presence in the Chili Peppers, and I feel that's gone, and I feel that's having an effect on the way they not only sound but the way they perform. I feel that you know, not having a strong guitar player in the band is kind of like like I say, is like making them run on one less cylinder, so to say, if that makes any sense whatsoever. It's nothing against Josh at all. I totally understand. Like, I feel he does know he's not to the standard of John, and that you know, who is. You know what I mean? It's like, you know, who's to the standard of like people like Jimi Hendrix, even, you know, stuff like that. So, you know, you kind of have to accept the fact that you're not going to be that. So you kind of do what you have to. You do what you do. You know what I mean? And that's cool. But I do feel that it doesn't fit into the context of the Chili Peppers. But again, it's just my 2 pence, so to say. Okay, so yeah, so about to answer that part of your question. I could ramble about that all day, but I don't want to go too deep into that. You also asked, will you teach the Slane Castle Californication intro? I don't know. I would like to, but I don't know if it would fall under the realms of that copyright thing. Because the fact of the matter is, if I taught that video and I uploaded it and it falls under copyright, it'll either get put up, which I doubt it will, or it'll get blocked totally, and then it's just like a dead video. You know what I mean? So I don't know about. I would really like to teach the Slane Castle Californication intro. It's just the fact of, is it going to fall under the copyright law thing? I don't know. I suppose I could always play the intro jam in a video one day and see if that video gets flagged. And if that video gets flagged, then I'll know not to kind of. I'll know I won't be able to do a lesson on it, so to say. But I don't know. I'll see. I won't say no, I'm not going to teach it. But at this point in time, I can't say 100% that I can because of this copyright thing. I've got to be, we've all got to be really careful of this thing at this point. As YouTubers, we've got to be really careful of where we go with it at this point in time. It's iffy ground we're on. We're on very, very uncertain ground at this point in time with this copyright thing. I know it's the Californication thing. With this copyright Article 13 thing. So yeah, at this point in time, I don't know. I won't say no, but I won't say yes. So it's kind of a bit up in the air. Like I say, I might have to just play it one day in just like a normal video and just see if it comes up as being flagged. 'Cause it's only a jam, so you know what I mean? It's not technically the song. But because it's part of that DVD and that soundtrack, it will still fall under the copyright thing. But I still might be able to get away with it. I don't know. We'll have to see. We'll have to see. I won't say yes and I won't say no at this point in time. Okay, so I hope that's your question. Moving on to question 2 now. Really, question 2. Can you teach to throw away your television solo? Sadly, not. No. That would fall under copyright. And I think that video would just get blocked. Personally, I think it would just kind of fall. Yeah, I don't think I dare, because it's technically a song. You know what I mean? Even the outro jam is technically the song. It's the same as the Californication intro, but I don't know if it would fall under. I don't know. This is what really gets my goat about this Article 13 malarkey. Is I don't literally have any idea what to do. You know what I mean? There is no set parameter to do. You can do this, but you can't do that. It's just a case of you do what you do, and then we'll tell you if we like it or not. It's like, that isn't that good enough. It's like, I need to know whether I can do certain things or not. And if I can't, you know, then I'd like to know. It's really... That's bugging me. That's bugging me. Because for all I know, I could do the solo, teach the outro solo and the solo, and be okay with it. But then for all I know, I might not be. So it's like, what? You know? And like I say, they have the ability just to delete your channel like that these days. So it's like... It's just a fear tactic. It really is just a fear tactic at the end of the day. It's just like, you know, trying to instill the fear of copyright law into everybody. And it's like, you know, it's like, yeah. You've got enough money, Warner Brothers, give over. Anyway, you've got enough money to live 20 lifetimes, if not more. But yeah, I can't really teach songs. I daren't. It comes down to the fact of I daren't teach songs. I will kind of try and do videos again, like I said last week. But I will do videos trying to teach in the style of still, like, you know, style of John, style of Jimmy, style of Peter, and the style of Rory. But I can't teach songs, which is really annoying because to really understand how an artist plays, you have to learn their songs. You know what I mean? You have to dive headlong into their music and learn all, you know, as many songs of theirs as you can, because that way you get a better understanding of what they're doing and how they're playing and what their favourite key is and what their favourite chord progressions are. You know, you start to get a better understanding. Sorry, everybody. So, yeah, I really despair. I really do. Really, really. Words of Peter Griffin grinds my gears. But yeah, I don't know at this point in time. I'll have to see. Again, I might try the outro solo in a video one time and see if it comes up as being flagged or something. I don't know. But then again, it's running the risk of it being flagged in the first place. You know what I mean? You can put a video up but it gets flagged and then you're in trouble. I don't know, people of YouTube. It's a mess. And it really is hard to know what to do. And it's hard to know what to do and what not to do. It's very, very, very annoying. Okay, so you also asked, do you think it's possible to learn the Red Hot Chili Peppers outro jam from the Poland gig? Oh yes, very, very much so. It's a really awesome outro jam, that is. It really is awesome. So yeah, it's very easy. It's I can't remember what key it's in. I did figure it out at one point, but I can't remember what it is. Is it in A? I'm in drop D. I can't even hear it in my head. I can't hear it in my head, but no, it's possible to learn the outro jam to Poland. I've got to say, it's very, very dark today on the camera, isn't it? But yeah, it is. It is doable. It is doable. It just takes a bit of time. Just get used to it and figure out what key it's in to start with. Because once you figure out the key it's in, it'll all be basically pentatonic stuff. There won't be anything kind of crazy going on. So there won't be like super Locrian in there or anything like that. But it's just like about the chords and stuff. What is it? It's kind of bugging me. I literally can't even remember. I'll have to figure it out again. But it is possible. It's definitely possible to learn the outro jam for the Poland gig. It's an amazing outro jam as well. It's really, really awesome. It's very possible. Anything's possible to learn if you just if you put time and effort into it. Then you can learn anything. You really can. It just takes time. That's all it is. You might not be able to get it in a month. You might not be able to get it in 2 months, but you will get it at some point if you know what I mean. It just requires that patience thing, kind of thing. So you also asked, last part of question 2 was also, what do you think about what do you think John's thinking when he walks off the stage at the Poland gig? I don't really know. I mean, John around that time looks like he doesn't really want to be there, if you know what I mean. He's got this kind of really weird kind of shut off vibe to him, where he's kind of not really there. He's he's there in the moment, but you do get the impression that he's not happy. He doesn't really want to be there. It's a bit more of a chore for him. He's not really enjoying it. That keeps coming out and it's driving me balmy. We've got a plectrum shoving it. Come on, you know you want to go in. Nope, that didn't work. It's good. It's because this thing's on a slant. It's like a ghost. He's constantly pushing us out. Anyway, yeah, I don't really know what John's thinking at the end of that gig. I mean, no one does. You know, the only person who knew that was John at the time. But he does have that. I mean, if you watch the Reading footage, that is the height of John. John in the Reading gig goes back to the John of '92 when they're on Saturday Night Live. You know what I mean? That's the John there. He literally does not want to be there, and he's not interested, and he's got nothing really left that he wants to do there. You know, he's there to see it out, but doesn't really want to be there. So what he's thinking, I don't know. Probably like, I want to go home. I don't know. I mean, we'll never know what he's thinking. We'll never know. He's not happy. You can tell that he's certainly not happy with where he is and what's going on at all. The Poland gig, there are bits. The Churzak gig, he's on a bit of an emotional roller coaster, John is. It's a really strange gig to watch, like, emotionally, when you're watching John, because there are parts where he's really happy, and you can see he's happy, and really loving it. And then there's some parts of the gig where he's just, like, sour-faced, and, like, don't want to be here. But then he goes back to being really happy again. No, sour-faced. You know, so it's a real emotional roller coaster he was on at that period of time. Towards the end of the Stadium Arcadium tour, John was just up. He was yo-yoing, absolutely yo-yoing, and you can see it constantly in the footage from, like, you know, the Reading Festival to the Churzak gig to Greenfest. When they do Higher Ground at Greenfest, John literally looks like he just wants to just go off stage. He just stands there and he's like, I don't want to be. He just looks fed up. He looks the most fed up at the Reading gig. There's no footage of the Leeds one where everything went wrong. There was some bad air in the night at the Leeds gig. But yeah, he's just fed up, isn't he? He's just had enough. He's just done with it. You know what I mean? He can't be bothered anymore. It's as simple as that. He's had enough of it. And you know, although he's able, the outro jam especially is a very good representation of where his brain's at, because it ends on a very dark. You know, it's not particularly upbeat outro jam. You know what I mean? There's a lot of kind of like craziness, and the way it ends as well is very kind of ominous. You know what I mean? And it's a very kind of like, and then he just disappears, and like you said in your email, he just disappears, and he just goes. He's not happy. He's the epitome of an unhappy man at that gig. But then again, like I say, saying that, you know, there are points where he looks really happy, and he's smiling, and he's looking at the crowd, and he just looks very, very kind of like into it and really, really happy. But then there's other times where he's just not into it at all. So it's sad. It's really sad to see, because obviously John being, like, you know, my hero. You don't like to think like people like that has been unhappy and stuff like that. You know what I mean? You don't like to think that anybody's unhappy, but, you know, sadly it happens, and there's not much you can kind of do about it, really. You just gotta kind of like, you know, go with it, so to say. But yeah, what's going on in his mind at that point in time? Who knows? All I know is he just wasn't happy in any way, shape, or form. He was not a happy bunny. He was really, really in a very light, dark place. It wasn't a very kind of level-headed place he was in at that point in time. I don't think he was very, very kind of like, he knew. I think he knew around. I'm trying to think. A couple of, well, I reckon he knew, like, you know, quite. He was going to leave the band at the Poland gig, and I reckon at a couple of other places he looks like he's like, I want out. You know, there's a couple of other gigs I've seen of him where he, like, you know, he just doesn't look into it at all, and he looks like he's ready to kind of like, you know, throw in the towel, so to say. So that period of time definitely just looks like he's done. He's done. He's absolutely done with it. So It doesn't surprise me. He just walks off stage after the gig and doesn't say anything or do anything. He just wants to get away. You know what I mean? He's not into that anymore. He doesn't want to do it. So, get away from it. So, but again, what's going on in his mind? Heaven knows. You know what I mean? Who knows? He knew obviously at the time, but like I can imagine John's brain is a very complex thing. Okay, so I hope it's answered your question. Going to move on to question 3 now. Okay, so question 3 is, how do you play fast guitar licks or play fast in general? Lots of practice. If you want to play fast, which isn't the be-all and end-all of guitar, Andy Timmons summed up playing fast guitar in the best possible way. If you're just going like this constantly on guitar, that kind of thing all the time, he said it's like painting a painting with one colour. And I was like, that is absolute genius, because it's exactly right. It really is true, because you're just doing one thing. You know what I mean? It's like, and if you go down that route, sometimes you can get trapped by doing that one thing, and then that's all you do. There's been some times where, because I'm an Yngwie Malmsteen fan, there has been some times when I'm watching Yngwie Malmsteen, and you get a bit kind of bored of hearing the constantly in every song. It's like, is that all you can do? Can you slow down? I'm not having a dig at Yngwie because I love Yngwie, but and Yngwie is the reason I can play fast, because I wanted to be Yngwie for a while, and I learned kind of how to kind of shred from him. But it's a very kind of small part of playing the guitar. It's one of those things that everyone wants to be able to do, and I'm no exception to that. Everyone wants to be able to play really, really fast. But the weird thing is, as you kind of get on in years of playing guitar, that want and need to play fast will dissipate to some people. Not to everyone, but it will. To some people, you just be like, I don't want to do that. So I've got no real interest in playing super, super fast all the time. I like to use fast playing to add an intensity, which it definitely does. But even though like my fast guitar playing isn't particularly fast, I'm not that quick at guitar playing, like compared to someone like Mike McCready or Yngwie Malmsteen or any of these shred guys, like Buckethead or this and the other. My technique isn't as good. I don't have my guitar set up for that kind of playing. I like to be able to kind of pull back. I get really angry at myself when I just kind of constantly shred and noodle. You know what I mean? It's like I don't like that anymore. I don't like to be able to. I don't like to sit down and just constantly go. It kind of gets on my nerves a bit. I'd much rather kind of sit down and come up with a chord progression, and then loop that chord progression and solo over the top of it and try and create something kind of like that flows. Not to say there won't be kind of fast licks in there, because there will be, because that's it depends on what happens and what I feel. But yeah, learning to play fast, it's all well and good, but there is more to the guitar than just learning to play fast. Paul Gilbert said something along the lines of playing fast is just Guitar Olympics. It's like, I can play faster than you. It's almost kind of this compare thing, and and I don't think that's very good. I don't think competition belongs in music. You know what I mean? It's like, I'm better than you. So what? You know what I mean? That would be my... If somebody came up to me and said, I'm a better guitarist than you, I was like, good for you. Is that, what you're trying to prove? Couldn't give a monkeys. You know what I mean? And that's the mindset I think we should all have when it comes down to playing guitar. It's like, because I know for a fact there's better players than me. Because I've seen them. I know a handful of guitarists. Well, not more. I know more than a handful. I've seen a million guitarists who are a trillion times better than I am. But the fact of the matter is, I'm not in competition with them, and I don't care. You know what I mean? If that makes any sense, I don't care if they're better than me. I don't care, that they can play faster, or they can play this better than me, or they can do that better than me, or they do, they have this, that, and I don't really care. It's like, I got to a point when I was in London that I literally just wanted to play how I felt and just jump off that train, that competition train of trying to one up everybody. you know, I was like, no, I want off this. I don't want to be in a competition with other guitarists. I just want to play the guitar because that's all I want to do. I love the guitar. I love playing the guitar, and because of that, I don't want something as petty as competition to come into that and spoil it. You know what I mean? Because it can really spoil, guitar and stuff like that. It really can spoil it when people are like, "Well, I'm better than you." You're like, you know, you should never ever think that you're. I don't think you should ever think that you're better than anybody else, because you're in for a very big shock when, you know, you're in for a very big fall, because one day you'll be proven wrong. It's like, you know, it's like anything. It's like if you go around constantly treating people like garbage, you know, and you're getting away with it and getting away with it and getting away with it, and you keep doing it and keep doing it. One day it will come back for you. You know what I mean? And it will get you. You know, not to bring this up in a negative kind of way, but all the people who I went to school with who used to pick on me, I know for a fact that it's come back and got a few of them. You know what I mean? You know, as much as, you know, I don't know if I believe in karma or this, that, and the other. It's, you know, what goes around comes around thing, and that's the same thing with competition. If you constantly go around thinking you're the bee's knees, when somebody comes along who's better than you, you're in for a big fall. A classic example is Eric Clapton. Everyone was calling Eric Clapton God in the late 60s before Jimi Hendrix showed up. And there's an amazing story that Chas Chandler says and Jack Bruce say, and Eric himself says about Cream were playing the Marquee. I think it was the Marquee, or it was a club anyway. And Chas Chandler took Jimmy along to see Eric, because Eric was obviously one of Jimmy's heroes. And Chas Chandler went to Jack Bruce and says, "Oh, do you mind if this guy gets up and just plays with you?" And they were like, no. And that was like the height of Cream ego. You know what I mean? They thought they were untouchable at that point. Even Jack Bruce and Eric Clapton said they were like, you know, they were very big-headed, and they thought they were totally untouchable at this point in time. And so they're like, no one jams with us because we're way too good and no one can keep up. But they said, okay, fine. You know, if he wants to make a fool of himself trying to jam with us, then go ahead. So Jimmy went up and plugged in his guitar, and they said, what do you want to do? And he said, Killing Floor. And Eric said in an interview that he thought Killing Floor was unplayable. You couldn't play Killing Floor. And we all know Jimmy's version of Killing Floor is supersonic. Absolutely ballistic. The riff, everything about it is crazy. And apparently, like, Jimmy launched into Killing Floor and Eric just couldn't keep up. And he started to shake. He went white, apparently. Chas Chandler says, like, on stage, you just saw him go white. The colour, just drained from his face. And he left the stage. Eric left the stage while Jimmy was playing. And Jimmy was playing behind his head with his teeth. Anyway, Chas went after Eric to see if he was alright, and Eric was outside apparently shaking, trying to light a cigarette, and he turned around to Chas and said, "Where the did you find him?" And this is the point. That was a fall that I'm sure Eric was a bit like, wow. Because everyone was calling Eric God. You know, there was no better guitarist than Eric Clapton, and then Jimi Hendrix came along, and it was like, oh. So, you know, and I think because if you never think you're great, you strive to be better. The moment you think you're better than anybody else, or you're really, 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 really good, I'm amazing, I am at this. You know, you stop trying so hard. You know, and if you stop trying, then you're not going to learn anymore. You should always be kind of like, you know, okay, yeah, I can do this, but I need to get better at it. There's always room to get better at everything, you know. But you never want to think that I'm done learning. You know what I mean? You know, you're always going to learn. You're always going to find things out, and you're always going to be able to progress more. And the problem is with ego is that shuts that part of your brain off, and you just stop learning, and then you become in a rut. You know, as much as I don't want to say it, Yngwie is a classic example of this, because what he does now is no different to what he did back when he first came on the scene. You know what I mean? He hasn't changed, which is cool, but not. You know what I mean? It's cool, but there's no growth in his. There's no growth in what he does. Whereas if you kind of like look at somebody like, I can't think of anybody offhand. Well, you know, Jimi Hendrix grew, John Frusciante grows, Rory Gallagher. They all have different strings to their bow. You know what I mean? Like, you know, Rory could play like, you know, jazz. He could play, you know, he could play blues. He could play rock. He could play country. He could play all sorts of stuff. Same thing with Jimi Hendrix. Jimmy could play jazz. He could play rock, blues. You know, you name it. You know, same thing with John. And same thing with people like Paul Kossoff. Paul Kossoff was apparently an amazing classical guitar player, but he was also an amazing rock guitar player. He was an amazing blues guitar player. He was amazing, kind of like, just an amazing guitarist. Or, they did all round things. Same with Dave Gilmour, Peter Green. They could all do certain things. They weren't stuck to that one thing of just like, that's what they did, and they didn't stray from that. Even bands like Iron Maiden and Metallica, who have done the same thing all these years, have still changed things slightly. You know what I mean? Nothing's ever quite the same as it was the last time around. The way Metallica are now is a lot different to the way they were back in their early days, but it's still Metallica, and you can still hear it's Metallica. But they've grown, they've expanded. Same thing with Iron Maiden. Everything's kind of matured because they've never stopped pushing where they can go with it. Whereas I feel certain guitarists kind of get stuck in a rut and then they stick to that thing and they never change. So I don't know. But I'm proper waffling now, aren't I? But yeah, coming back to fast guitar playing. Tangent of the century. Okay, but yeah, coming back to fast guitar playing. It's not the be all and end all, but I do have a video on. I think I've got a video on. I think I called "Get Out of Jail Free Licks." I think a video. If you look up a video called "Get Out of Jail Free Licks," there is some fast, noodly little bits in there. But playing fast isn't the be all and end all of guitar. And to say, don't ever think that you've learned everything, because you haven't. Don't think you're ever the best you're going to be, because you're not. You can always get better. You know what I mean? Always push yourself. Push further. It's like, right, what can I do today? Okay, I've played this chord progression a million times, so what can I do? What can I do today? What can I pull out of me today that's going to make this chord progression different? You know what I mean? Because you can make 3 chords sound totally different every time you play over them. Just by what you play over them. It's the beauty of music. So basically, how do you play fast? Lots and lots of practice, but don't let it rule you and don't let it take you over, because it can. Just be aware, it's a trap. Be careful. You know what I mean? You can get in and you can get out without getting caught in it, but it can catch you and then it can keep you there. So just be careful. Fast guitar playing isn't the be all and end all. Like Andy Timmons says, it's like painting a picture with one colour. It's like painting with black. That's all you do. There's so much more to it than that. Okay, so you also asked, can you explain how to build up speed for solos? Again, that just comes down to practice. It's just muscle memory. Eventually, your fingers will learn, your fingers will build up stamina, and you'll just go. But it takes a long time. It doesn't happen overnight, and it doesn't happen in a month, or 2 months, or 3 months. It happens over years to be able to play really, 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 really fast, or comfortably fast, where you can just do it and it looks effortless. You know what I mean? It just takes time. You have to develop that flow, and it just takes time. You have to be patient. It's not going to happen next week. Even if you throw yourself in the deep end to try and learn Yngwie Malmsteen licks, it's not going to happen next week. It won't happen in a month, but it will happen at some point. Just keep pushing, but again, be careful. Okay, so you also asked, could you do a video explaining about what's going on right hand when you're playing fast as well? Yeah, I mean, I think I spoke about that in this video anyway. Like I say, if you look up a video on the channel called, like I said, I think it's called Get Out of Jail Free Licks, that I speak about some kind of like little fast trills you can do, stuff like this, that kind of like, if you need to, that kind of thing. I talk about things like that in that video. So I hope I answered this question. That was a massive tangent in that, so I do apologise everybody, but that was a bit mental. Okay, so moving on to question 4 now. Okay, so question 4 is great. I love this question. This is great. The guy actually put this should be good for a laugh. Okay, you ready for this, everybody? Brace yourselves. Question 4. What do you use to lube your nuts? I'll repeat that. What do you use to lube your nuts? Double entendre central. Okay, I don't use anything. I've never put graphite in the guitars. I've never put kind of like oil or anything like that. I don't use anything. I never have. I don't know why. I just never have. I don't feel the need to. I know people do. People say, oh, you need to kind of like put like some kind of like lubricant in there. I've known people use Vaseline, 2-in-1 oil. There's that stuff called nut sauce, which is a bit. with its name, not with what it does. I'm sure what it does is amazing, but the name is like, nut sauce. Has anyone seen my nut sauce? It'd be a bit weird, wouldn't it, if you're shouting at it at a gig. There's graphite from pencil lead, stuff like that. But I've never put anything in my nuts. Oh, God. I had to stop the camera. That is the best thing I've ever said. Okay. Oh, I'm crying. Take a breath. I'm not saying that ever again in my life. That's got to be the statement of the day, that. Dave Simpson, 2019. I've never played anything. I can't even say it. No, seriously. Okay, take a breath. Take a drink. Seriously though, I've never used anything. And I still don't. So I'm going to move on. I'm going to move on from that question. Be gone, question 4. I hope I've answered it though. I've never used anything. So, and I'm not even going to ask people of the tube. I'm not even going to ask because, yeah. Anyway, moving along. Question 5. Question 5. Okay, so, question 5. Let's get back to normality, shall we? And try not to be a gibbering wreck with laughing. Oh, seriously, I can't believe I just said that. But anyway, it's the best line of the world. The world? Why not? Yeah. Inspirational quote by Dave Simpson. Okay, so question 5. What's your connection with Stevie Ray Vaughan, and when did you first hear his music, and does he inspire you? And if so, what's your favourite Stevie song? I don't really have much of a connection to Stevie. I did have a period where I really, really liked Stevie, but I moved away from him quite quickly because I like people like Rory Gallagher more. I do like Stevie, and I still do listen to him occasionally, but not really. When did I first hear his music? I don't actually know. I can't actually remember the first time I don't. It was before I went to London, but I don't actually remember why or what got me into Stevie Ray Vaughan. It was weird, actually. I don't actually remember. I know exactly what got me into John Frusciante, Rory Gallagher, and Jimi Hendrix, and Paul Kossoff, and Peter Green. I have no idea what got me into Stevie Ray Vaughan. I do not remember the first song I heard of his. I don't remember anything about it. It's really weird. I was at college, wasn't I? Because I covered Pride and Joy. I don't know. I literally, it could have been Texas Flood, maybe. I don't know. That's really weird. I literally don't know how I got into Stevie, but yeah, he does inspire me. He's an amazing guitarist. You know what I mean? It's hard not to be inspired by Stevie because he is, he was pretty much one of a kind. He's a bit of a monster player. A bit of a monster player is an understatement to say the least. He was just an absolute beast of a guitarist. And sadly gone too soon. You know what I mean? It's kind of like, just not fair. Not fair. Simple as that, in my opinion. But yeah, when did I first hear his music? I don't know. Does he inspire me? He certainly does. I mean, I reckon Stevie's got an inspiration to, quite a lot of guitarists. I mean, there's certain things that I like to do that remind me of him. You know what I mean? Like, especially kind of runs up in the first position in E. It really, I love doing those kind of things that Steve does, really fast kind of runs. And I like playing stuff like Pride and Joy and stuff like that. It's not my favourite Stevie track, but I do enjoy playing stuff like that. So yeah, it does inspire me, definitely. And there is elements of his playing in my playing as well. Not a great deal, but there is certain parts of his playing in my playing. What's my favourite Stevie Ray Vaughan track is a song called Change It. That's my favourite Stevie track, is a song called Change It. I absolutely love that song. That is my favourite track. Along with Looking Out the Window. But I think Change It is probably is easily my favourite Stevie track. Okay, so yeah, but that's my connection with Stevie. It's not a massive connection with him. I do love the man. I do love his guitar playing, but I don't really go out my way to try and copy him as much as I try and copy Jimmy or John or Rory or Peter. You know what I mean? He's kind of like, he's not low on the list, but he's not as high as the 5 I have, which are kind of like, say, John Frusciante, Jimi Hendrix, Peter Green, Rory Gallagher and Mike McCready. They're my top 5 guitarists of all time who I've took most from. You know what I mean? They're the guitarists I want to kind of cram together and make one. You know what I mean? They're the guitarists I want to take stuff from. And they're all real field-based guitarists, so you know that's kind of where I want to be. And maybe even a little bit of Paul Kossoff, you know what I mean, in there. But Stevie's quite, you know, he's not far down the list, but he's not in the top 5, so to say. But you know, I still do love the man, and he still does inspire me, and he's just a beast, absolute beast. Okay, so yeah, my favourite song is definitely "Change It." It's an awesome song. I love that song. It's got a real dark, bluesy vibe to it, but at the same time dead melodic and really awesome. Okay, so you also asked, I even have trouble saying this, but so you also asked, you're an amazing guitarist. Oh, this is actually quite a good question, but not the amazing guitarist bit, because I'm certainly not. I've seen amazing guitarists, and I'm not one of them. But thank you very much for the compliment, though. You're an amazing guitarist, but you are struggling to get a career out of music. How does this bode for beginners, for us beginner guitarists? Should we give up on learning the guitar? Okay, so let me just repeat that bit. I'll word it a bit more. I'm going to miss out the amazing guitarist bit. You are struggling to get a career out of music. So how does this bode for us beginning guitarists? Should we give up on learning the guitar? No, never, ever give up on learning the guitar. I cannot stress that highly enough. You know, playing the guitar is not something I do to kind of like, you know, I'm not gonna, you know, just I've been working for 17 years at the guitar, you know what I mean, and in all fairness, over that period of time, it's got me certain things here and there. It has, and it's got me this channel for one thing, which again, I am so grateful for this channel over so much stuff. It's just really, you know, words do not describe how it what's the word I'm looking for? I think the word. But yeah, seriously, if you're a beginner guitarist, just if you want to play the guitar, if you love the guitar, if you pick up a guitar and you love playing it, never ever stop. Don't stop just because you might not be able to get a career out of it. I won't. This is the furthest I've ever got. This YouTube channel is the furthest I've ever got in my music career. You know what I mean? And it probably will be the only furthest thing I will ever get in my career. And I'll explain something in a minute I'll talk about. But you know, and that's fine by me. You know what I mean? It's like, you know, I'm able to. Fair enough, my living isn't. I don't have a rich living. You know what I mean? I'm not kind of like, you know, driving around in Ferraris and stuff like that. I'm not, you know, I'm not touring the world. I'm not playing gigs to thousands and thousands of people per night. Because in all fairness, that can't happen for people like me in this day and age anyway. Sadly, it's not going to happen. It dawned on me a long time ago, here we go, tangent time everybody, that I'm never going to get that opportunity. You know what I mean? And am I okay with that? No, I'm not okay with that. It really bums me out and really upsets me because I love playing live. That's one of playing live music is the biggest thing I love doing. Which is why I love doing these YouTube videos, because I'm able to kind of do that technically, you know what I mean? I'm able to kind of like, you know, with me intro jams, I'm able to do like 3 songs a week and perform them live, because I don't retake them, they're just one take, so it's technically a live performance. You know, there's no overdubs, there's no nothing of that. So I'm technically able to perform live 3 times a week, if not more if I've got gigs, which unfortunately are drying up, but you know, that's the state of the being an unsigned band in this day and age. But yeah, I mean, seriously, don't ever give up on learning the guitar. Let's come back there now. I'm going to tangent all over today. It's because I'm quite tired and my brain's kind of like firing on all cylinders trying to keep me awake. So it's a bit mental. But yeah, seriously, if you're a beginner guitarist and you love playing guitar, keep playing guitar. You know what I mean? If you're not going to get a career out of it, that's fine, but you don't need to get a career out of it to enjoy the guitar. You know what I mean? That's not an end game kind of thing. It's like, you know, I'm going to start playing guitar because I want a career in music. Unfortunately, in this day and age, yeah, this is about as, you know, in all fairness, this is more than I ever could have hoped for, because I was convinced that I was just destined to eventually have to get a 9-to-5 job, you know, in a supermarket, because I'm not, or something. But the thing is, because I'm not because of my anxiety problems and depression problems and all this lovely stuff that I carry around with me, certain jobs I can't do. So I was just, I've always been worried about the guitar is the only thing I've ever been good at. It's as simple as that. The only thing I can do in life is play guitar. That's all I'm good at. I'm no good at anything else. I'm no good at kind of like, talking to people. I'm not particularly very good at anything. I'm good at guitar, to an extent. I'm not brilliant, amazing, but I can play. And I can play to ability that I'm happy with. But I always want to get further. And like I said, I've spoken in great depth of where I want to be with my guitar playing. I want my guitar playing to be able to express emotions, not to be technically flash. I want it to really express me. So that's where I want to give my guitar playing to lie. I don't want to be technically amazing. I want to be able to kind of people to feel what I'm playing. And but like career-wise, like I say, coming back, I'm going to be all over on this question, everybody. So just please bear with me. Like I say, it dawned on me a long time ago that I will not get the chances that certain people get. I always feel that, because of the way I am, because of the way I look, and I'm not about to change just because. That just feels wrong to me. It's not, I would like to have some kind of integrity in my life and not be that kind of person who kind of changes everything they do just so they fit into a mold. You know what I mean? So you're a sellable commodity. I'm not about to shave my head and start, wearing different clothes just because it might get me a touring slot with a big band. You know what I mean? I'm not doing that. What you see is what you get. This is what I am. If you don't like it, that's thing. But I shouldn't be punished for that. But unfortunately, in the music business, you are. I remember when I was in London and I was told that I will never ever get picked for live session work, which is what I wanted to kind of get into. Because of the way I look, because I'm ragged around the edges. What do you expect? I'm a working class person with, I'm a human being. My hair's falling out. I've got spots. I've got a dishevelled beard. I wear clothes that are a bit ratty. It's like well, I'm not a perfect human being, but unfortunately that's kind of what the music industry wants people to look like. They want you to look a certain way, and when you don't, they're not interested in you. And as a result of that, I've always felt like I've been shunned, but it's like at the end of the day, it's like I'm not about to change who I am for them. Who was it who said that? Was it Kurt Cobain? Kurt Cobain said trying to be somebody else is a waste of who you are. Stuff like that is very, very true. And because why would I change everything about myself just to fit in if that's not being true to who I am? If that's not me, why would I go out to be somebody who isn't me? You know what I mean? Why would I go out there and look a certain way just to make other people happy if it's not going to make me happy? And if I can't control that, then what's the point? I'd like I say, this is me. What you see in my YouTube video is me. I'm a bit of an idiot. I'm not particularly very clever. I'm a bit, my hair's falling out. I'm ugly. I'm a bit rough around the edges. You know what I mean? Tough look. If people, and there is every day I get a comment on YouTube saying, cut your hair, do this, do that, the other. So I'm not about to do that because that's not me and that's not what I am. You know what I mean? I'm not that vain person. Or I'm not based on looks. I'm based on kind of what I want to do. And but unfortunately that doesn't work in the music realm. But the problem is with that is that does mean I have to sacrifice certain dreams. Is that okay? Not really. No. When you think about it, it's just because of I am the way I am, doesn't that means I have to kind of miss out basically. And I always do feel like I say, I mean, I've said it a million times. I always feel like I've missed the boat. You know what I mean? I always feel like I'm late to the jetty and the boat's gone, and I'm just sat there wondering if it'll ever come back. You know what I mean? Am I just on my, you know, is that it? You know, 'cause I do feel like I get kind of, you know, I've always felt like I get overlooked with one way or another. But that's you know, that is what it is. You know what I mean? That might just be again subconscious, something in my mind that says that. I don't know, but yeah, I don't know people with a tube. But like I say, should you ever give up learning guitar? Never, never, ever give up on learning the guitar. You just love. If you love it, then just play. Just play, and do what you have to do to be able to play. You know what I mean? Just you know, I love the guitar so much that I will do just about anything within my power. Certain things are outside of my control, sadly, but I will literally do everything I can to be able to pick up my guitar today or tomorrow or the next day. You know what I mean? If somebody says you got to, you know, crawl down the street on your face, you know, otherwise you're not allowed to play guitar again, I would literally do it. You know what I mean? It's like, you know, because it means that much to me. Music means that much to me. The guitar means that much to me. It's the reason I'm here. You know what I mean? It's the reason I'm around the guitar. It really is. And it's like, the idea of not having it is like basically like, you know, that'd be, I don't know where that would lead me. Scares me actually. I don't like to think about that, because it's kind of like, you know, if I don't have the guitar, because it's the only thing I've ever been good at. When I was young, I had the dreams of I really wanted to be I wanted to be a goalkeeper at playing football. I really wanted to be an amazing goalkeeper, and I was always rubbish, so I was never very good at it. And I also wanted to be an amazing artist, and I was no good at that. I wanted to be a writer. I was no good at that. I've tried a lot of things, you know what I mean? I've tried a lot of things, and then the guitar just like found me when I was 16 years old, and that was that. You know what I mean? As soon as I picked up a guitar and started playing Smoke on the Water, I was like, I want to do this. And then, like, as it progressed over the years, I was like, this is all I want to do. This is literally all I want to do. But sadly, as that dream grew, the music business got worse and worse, to the point where now it's like, basically, because people do ask, like, you know, why aren't I touring and stuff like this? It's like, there isn't a place for me. I don't think there's a place for me. I don't feel it. Yeah, I mean, people were saying, like, you know, why don't you do the trio more and stuff like that? It's like, I've been doing the trio for 11 years. You know what I mean? With one thing or another, I tried. The trio used to do all originals. That failed. Trio did covers. That succeeded for a while, but it only. But with one thing or another, things just get on top of you eventually, and you need a break from it. So I'm taking a break from the trio for a while, because it is. I'm tired. You know what I mean? I'm tired after 11 years. It's kind of like, you know. You can only do. I still love playing with the trio. I love playing with John Joe, my brother John, who plays bass. I love it. It's one of like my most biggest thrills of my life. But I am tired, and I need to take a break from it once in a while. And after 11 years of trying to keep it going constantly with different band members, I've had so many different band members, and arguments and fallouts, and trying to do this and trying to do that, and failing and failing and failing. You know what I mean? Because the trio has just been one constant fail. It's got as soon as it starts to pick up, it fails and falls. When it picks up, it falls, fails. You know, it does that. That's 11 years I've been yo-yoing between nearly succeeding and then failing, nearly succeeding and failing. You know what I mean? And that's been like my musical life. You know what I mean? I have failed so many times, and every time I've picked myself back up and gone, right, let's start again. You know, let's start again. I'm not going to give up just because. You know what I mean? That's one of the things you have to like learn as a musician is to accept failure, because it's going to happen. But like I say, if you're a beginner guitarist, never give up learning guitar. Keep going, learn, enjoy it, love it. Just make music. There is nothing better. There is nothing better. You know, just keep going. Just keep going. You might have to sacrifice your dreams and hopes. But some people won't. Some people won't. Some people will be able to kind of actually literally be able to kind of get where they want like that. It's a really strange thing. And then some people will just never get there. And is that okay? Not really, no, because I mean, everyone deserves a chance, you know what I mean? And it really upsets me, and it really, really depresses me and upsets me knowing the fact I'll never get to play, like, you know, I have daydreams about playing, like, you know, what would it feel like to play on a big stage, even though it's like a theatre stage to like a theatre full of people who have come to see you, you know what I mean? It's like, technically, I'm not, and this is the point of you, this is the thing I love about my YouTube channel so much, like I say, is because I get to play for you. You know what I mean? You're my audience, you're my theatre full of people, you know what I mean? I get to play for all of you out there. And that gives me hope. You know what I mean? It's you know, you fall off the ladder and then you start climbing it again. You know what I mean? That's what this YouTube channel's really done for me. And it's all because of you lot. Like I always say, it's all because of you lot. So I am so grateful to you all forever. I will be forever. And I get to play live to people all from all around the world every week. You know, not many people can say they do that. And, you know, that's awesome to me. No, it's something I never thought I would give a chance to do. Personally, I'd much prefer to be playing to you in not in digital form. I'd love to be able to kind of do gigs where you're there in person, but there isn't the opportunities to do that for me, sadly, and I don't think there will ever be opportunities to do that kind of thing for me. I don't want to kid myself into thinking that one day I'll be a touring musician, because I just don't think that'll happen. I don't. It's not the fact I wouldn't like it to. You know, I would love to play with the Chili Peppers, but it's not going to happen. You know what I mean? You know, I'm a very, very, very small drop in a very, very, very big ocean. So yeah. I don't know. Anyway, but yeah, never stop learning playing guitar. Just keep going. You know, just love it for what it is. You know, career in music is nearly impossible these days, but it doesn't mean you can't love and learn to play the guitar really well, you know. Okay, so that's the question. I'm going to move on to the final question there, everybody. Question 6. I'm going to have to quickly hurry up because the camera's nearly out of a memory. So question 6 is 21 or 22 frets. Not fussed, really. Either. I mean, I do like the 21 just because it's kind of like traditional. I'm a Strat fanatic, and so it's kind of traditional to Strat and Telly's original ones. But I'm not fussed. If it's got 22, cool. I don't really like the look of 22 frets as much as I like the look of 21. But, yeah. But as I say that, I love 24 frets. You know, 24 fret guitars are cool. And I miss my Ibanez at 24 frets. But, so yeah. So I hope that's that part. You also asked, what do you think to Mark Knopfler? Mark Knopfler is awesome. Talk about feel guitarist. Absolutely stunning guitarist, Mark Knopfler is. I think he gets a bit overlooked. And more than he should. I really like Mark Knopfler. I don't like all of his music, I've got to admit, but I do love him as a player, and I love him as a songwriter. It's just unreal. So final part of question 6, everybody. I've got a rocket now. Have you ever thought about getting a Chapman guitar? Yes, but I can't afford one, and I'm not sure I'd get along with them, but maybe one day. I have thought about it. There was the white one with 3 single coil pickups really appealed to me, but then I saw the price. I was like, yeah, that's not going to happen. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I would like to try one at some point. They released a gold top telly, I think, recently, and that looked amazing. I really like the idea of that. But maybe one day, I don't know. But I can't afford to buy one at this point in time. I'm you know, with one thing or another, I'm totally broke. So you know, that is what it is. But yeah, maybe in the future, maybe I'd like to try one before I buy one though, because I don't want to just buy one blind because of what I've read about the guitar. I'm not sure that it would work for me. Much in the same way PRS don't work for me. You know what I mean? I do feel that I won't like them. I've got a kind of a feeling that I won't like Chapman guitars. I don't know why, but you know when you have a gut feeling that, like, you know, as much as you like the way they look, something's like it's like something like, you know, nibbling at the back of your neck going, no. You know what I mean? So maybe in the future. I don't know. Maybe in the future. I would like to try one definitely at some point. I would definitely like to try the Chapman at some point. Maybe one might come into the guitar shop that I frequent in Gall's music, and at some point, and I might have to try one. But yeah, yes, there we go, everybody. It's another Q&A Wednesday. I do hope you enjoyed this one. I do hope my tangents have made some kind of sense. I do apologise if you know there's anything in there that's just totally stupid, apart from the whole lubing nuts thing, debacle, fiasco, whatever you want to call it. Well, I just totally lost it. Anyway, it was good fun. That was a brilliant question. Thanks to the person who asked that question. It's like one of the most. Well, that's one of my favourite questions. That's amazing. Just added so much kind of like Rick Mail double entendre kind of things going on there. I could actually hear like Rick Mail in my head saying stuff to do with like lubing nuts. You know, you could like see it like a bad news sketch or anything like that. Anyway, I really hope you enjoyed this video. I hope I've answered your questions okay. I hope there's something in there. And I'll see you again on Friday for another vid. Like I said, I've got no idea what I'm doing on Friday video-wise yet. But we will see. We will see. Yeah, I don't know. I've got ideas, but I don't know. There's a few places I need to take you, and there's a few people I need you to see. I need to take you to Gallagher's Music, local guitar shop to me, which is awesome, and I love it there. So I'm going to take you there at some point, people of YouTube. And I'm also going to take you to see my very, very good friend Ian at some point, Ian Stewart, because... the way Ian plays guitar is terrifyingly good. He's just an absolute awesome field-based guitar player, and hopefully I'll take him there soon and to let you watch him play, because it's just like, okay, yeah, but that's where I want to be. You know what I mean? It's one of those. So yeah. So I hope you enjoyed this video, everybody, and I will see you again very soon for another one. I'll see you on Friday, and yes, have a great morning, afternoon, and good evening. Goodbye now. Thank you very much for watching.